welcome to my daily live stream. I'm mayohosko. Thank you so much for watching. I'm building sets from my backlog from the Lego Group, who are worth billions and billions of dollars. And we are building bag 2 of Wally. I don't know why this isn't getting picked up on camera well, but we're building Wally. Those are all printed tiles right there, which is nice. So we'll wait for people to come into the chat and then we'll start building. And it's raining outside. I'd rather it be raining than be frosting. I hate frosty winters. I much prefer wet winters. So let's open the instruction book and let's get out bag 3. And I don't have anything particular that I want to talk about today. So what do you guys want to talk about? So we got Alexandria, Billing, Zelda. I was in the chat right now. And before we started, we had Copper and Tommy. Hopefully Copper and Tommy get here so they can join the party and we can start building. Yeah, because in the past we have had people who have been at the top of the chat and have not actually watched the stream. I don't know how that happens. The only time I'll come into the chat and not actually watch the stream is if I go into the chat to let them know, hey, I can't watch you because you delayed the start of your live stream to when I start. That has happened before. Because if you're live at the same time as me, by default I can't watch you. Unless you go unless you go live for way longer than what I do. Well, yeah, I've seen other people who have found August sets already in Target. I think Target do a worse job at Walmart in the US at keeping sets under embargo actually in their back room. Seems like people find sets early all the time at Target. Hey Hoarder, the invite is in the jungle if you want to test out your skull candying earphones. My day night has been pretty good. I woke up at 2:30 a.m. after falling asleep at 4:30 p.m. yesterday. So that's 10 hours. That's longer than what I should have gotten. And my parents come home tomorrow. So today's going to be a busy day of cleaning, but not until after I finish watching a few amount of my friends. Because when I do these live streams on Tuesday morning, I always watch Robin Hood Brix's City Update either before or after my live stream, depending on when I wake up. Yeah, it's 2 hours longer than what it should have been. Hoarder and Zelda have a back and forth. Yeah, so I wonder where Copper and Tommy are at. Okay. There's all sorts of fucked up noise outside my house. Hey, Strickling. Waiting for at least one more person until we start building bag 3 of Wally. I'm in a battle of the bots with my friend, the Brick Babe, who is building the Walt set. Okay, yeah, Copper is here. You're watching a TV special about Mars. Okay, excellent. Now let's start building. Yeah, because I know that Copper has been building some Lego sets while watching some of my live streams recently. That's fun, isn't it? Because Copper and Alexandria have been working on the snooping for a while there. Billy was building some of the construction vehicles. See, I remember what my viewers have to say, unlike some other people out there. And I wonder where Tommy's at. Your next set is going to be the Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, nice, because you like the Red Dragon. I know a lot of people who like dragons. Zelda? And here's a quick little story. While I was watching Clicking and Bricking yesterday, I remembered that I needed to put out the recycling bin, and literally 10 minutes after I did that, the recycling truck came and it picked up everything. So I'm glad I did that. Fortunately, didn't need to put out the garbage because I've been home alone for the past 6 days, and so I don't generate as much garbage when it's me compared to all 4 of us. Because when my family's all together, we're a family of 4. My extended family is about a family of 16 after the people who have died recently. So when I was putting out some garbage, I noticed some stuff that needed to go in the recycling instead. Because we go through a lot of the medicine boxes and document paper and other stuff like that, and we go through a lot of bottles and cans, and you get 10 cents back on them in our state. But sometimes what looks like it could be recycled for 10 cents, like a milk carton or something, can't. And so they have the recycling label on them. So I was like, yeah, I'll put that in its proper place once the recycling truck comes. And I mentioned that because some people might remember when I built the Technic electric recycling truck. That's up on my display right there. Hey, Candy. Yeah, some people change up their PFPs every now and then. Let me finish building this first, and then I'll go into depth of what some of you guys are saying. Because on days like this, when there's lots of people in the chat, the chat ends up always saying good stuff. Because remember, guys, it's you who gives me the energy to keep on doing these live streams. And also, while you're here, you're earning your jars. The more jars you earn, the more tickets you can buy to enter giveaways when I do them. Copper changed their profile picture. Well, we have a bag in the garage, which we just put all of our stuff in. And so when I go into the garage, sometimes I take my Pepsi Max or my Mountain Dew cans in there. We keep it by the tools, because my father still has tools over here. So if you're in a state that has the bottle and can recycling program, where you get a dime or a nickel back on your purchases, let me know, because not all American states have them. Hell, not all Australian states have that either. Victoria only recently got that after we've had it for about 40 years or something. Okay, that goes underneath walling. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Okay, so that gets pushed up there. That's a little bit of an offset. Let me zoom back up. Some people are feeling fatigued. Well, the cat might make noise at the end of the stream. That's when her feeder feeds her. Well, you know what? At Billing, I forget if you watched The Jungle on Clicking Cliff, but some people know that I built the McLaren Formula One Speeding. And Speedy is easier to say than Speed Champions. Yeah, we read that about dragons. Yeah, there's been a lot of sets selling out. I'm still waiting for my friend's garden restaurant, which is on back order. Hopefully that gets restocked soon. So Spider-Man Day is the 1st of August. Yeah, Zelda likes dragons. I'm not sure about the context of that. Our garbage and pickup is on Monday morning. And we go through way more recycling than we do organic waste. The main time we put out organic waste is when we cut down the tree branches. The trees grew so much that we actually had to get the council to haul away some of our tree branches a while ago. We actually got the council to remove an entire tree that was on the sidewalk in front of our house. Well, the recycling truck comes every 2 weeks here, because they rotate between recycling and organic waste. Yeah, I'm like that sometimes when I'm home alone, Hoarder. Yeah, well, it's not the electric Boogaloo or anything, and it's not Electric Avenue like what they had on Jackass. Do you guys live in areas where they stopped using grocery bags? You don't get why you have reusable bags. but now, yeah, blah blah blah. Well, that's because certain states banned single-use plastics. Our state banned single-use bags back in 2008. And you know what? Bring your own bags and you don't have to pay the nickel or the dime or the quarter or whatever. Just bring your own. That's why you see people going to farmers market using those specially woven bags, and then you also see them going to supermarkets with them as well, so they don't have to pay a dime or a nickel or a quarter every time. And most times when I go to the supermarket, I use the 10 items or less aisle. So I just end up putting everything in my backpack. And I don't have to worry about that. It's also a profit driving machine, because when you think about it, if you have to pay a dime, for example, to buy bags, 10 of those a month, that's $1. Times 12, that's $12. That's easily three extra coffees you could buy for yourself over the course of a year. Well, fortunately, we have the room to store bottles and cans. Can you? I've never seen people selling them. I've seen people selling the pins that hold all the train tracks together in train sets, but never the cups. Yeah. So Alexandria and Copper and Billy Owen states that do that. Billy remembers when you... Yes, exactly. That was the Seinfeld episode, the bottle deposit scheme, because it was Kramer and Newman who were trying to rort the system by cashing in out of state. Well, that's why they have the bottle and can recycling centers where you drive and take all of your bottles and cans. I wish in my state where that's common practice, that they would have like a monthly curbside pickup where they would have those trucks that carry around the steel crates that you see people shipping the bottles and cans in. I wish they had a monthly pickup of that, instead of forcing ratepayers in a local government area to drive themselves to a recycling center. I think that would actually encourage more people to recycle their bottles and cans in my state. Yeah, I see a lot of homeless people going around to the public bins and getting the bottles and cans out so they can get their dimes on the dollar. Yeah, some small towns don't have that system, but I'm pretty sure that's not up to the local county's decision. I'm pretty sure that's up to the state's decision. But yeah, not all areas have a bottle and can recycling center, which kind of sucks. Exactly, because not all areas of the world have proper systems to deal with that. But fortunately, people are more likely to scrap aluminium and steel than they are paper and cardboard, because steel and aluminium has more value to it than what comes from a tree. And that's because the iron ore that makes steel and aluminium is a finite resource. However, companies like Kimberly-Clark can have genetically modified pine trees that they grow out for an artificial forest. Yeah, it's all an expense somewhere. Well, you know what? When you go to a store and you can put stuff in baskets, if you don't think your order is enough to fill a whole cart, and you use a basket instead, that's where it's more viable. Yeah, that's because people really love their mothers, don't they? I used to do that back in the day too, Billy. Like when we go to local sports matches, we'd get everyone's beer cans and bottles. Back when I was young and innocent, and was trying to get as many dimes on the dollar as possible to buy Lego sets. That's before I was getting checks in the mail. Hey Dragon, we've been talking about bottles and cans, and we got on that tangent because we're building Wally, who is a trash compactor robot. You like how the rest of the world says aluminium? In North America, you pronounce it aluminum because you don't have because you have one less I in American English, because everywhere else it's spelled aluminium. No, sorry, aluminium. In American English, it's spelled aluminum. It's kind of like how in American English you don't like to use the U's or UE combinations. And that's why Australia took the best of Old English and American English and put it together on our own keyboards, because like American English for the word program, it's program. In Old English, it's programe. But we think it's dumb to put the ME at the end of program, but we don't think it's dumb to put the UE at the end of catalog, for example. As a plumber, you used to scrap copper and brass from remodeling jobs. Yep, because copper and brass has more value, because they're a scrap metal. From remodeling jobs, pipes, drains, water supplies, multi-$1,000 payouts. Exactly, because if you can get enough of that stuff, you can make a lot of money by scrapping metal, because there's always going to be a customer for scrap metal. There's not always going to be a customer for paper, because people who are likely to be customers for paper most likely hire out someone to grow genetically modified pine trees for them. And that's where you get vertically integrated companies like Kimberly-Clark, who grow their own genetically modified pine trees and manufacture their own toilet paper. And I say that because in our state, we have Kimberly Clark at Pine Tree Farms, and I'm pretty sure there's a paper mill there as well. Although it's extra, it's like labor. Yeah, exactly. But you know what's really confusing for the Labour Party in Australia and the UK, which is the equivalence of the Democrats in the US. At least in our country, the Labour Party doesn't have the U in it. But for the Labor Day public holiday, it does. So I don't know what's up with that. It's kind of like how there's the rule I before E except after C, but there's those couple words where there actually is the I before E after a C word. So I can't remember which word that is, but I know that Lisa Simpson once talked about that in a Simpsons episode. And speaking of the Simpsons, Coolhan Luke Briggs invited the chat on to his live stream on the weekend. And so as someone who got a gifted membership a month ago, they let me on. Sorry, I just dropped something. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. They let me on, and they were talking about how they're trying to go through some of the CMF series, and eventually they want to get into talking about The Simpsons, which has 2 CMF series, and it has the 3 sets. And so, as someone who's seen just about every episode of The Simpsons ever, I said, hey, you know where to find me. But they were kind of hesitant because I've been on there a few times before, and they always like to get new people onto their live streams. So they said if they can't find anyone else, they'll think about me. So who knows? Maybe you might see your boy on Coolhan Luke next Sunday. Who knows? You've been cashing in car rotors where you found them. Yeah, I know some people who they are so good at doing trade with scrap metal that they go to junk yards to get car parts to restore used cars, and then essentially rebuild a used car and sell it for $1,000 a pop. Because some people throw away perfectly salvageable car parts, which I think is really weird. Like, why would you just junk a whole car that still has tread on its tires, or still has some miles left to go in the tank? I don't get it. Yeah, I saw that yeah, when I was scrolling Instagram earlier, Hoarder, I saw your post about that. So now you can build that hangar bay you were telling me about. And also Zelda, if you're still out there, we can talk about that guy I was DMing you about if you want. He they make some good stuff. So we're building the caterpillar treads for Wall-E right now. Did you see the new? I'm guessing that you meant to say stocking set. No, I don't know what that is. So Wall-E has small wheels and wide and big wheels. Oopsie. Yeah. And if anyone has seen the movie Wall-E, you might remember the scenes where he actually replaced his wheels, which were some of my favourite scenes from the movie, where he used the decommissioned Wall-E units to repair himself. Because even though the Directive A113 had been terminated 700 years ago, when in the time when Wall-E is still under Directive A113, because he was still under that directive, he was still compacting trash on Earth when the rest of humanity had abandoned Earth. Because for those who have seen the movie, you might remember the reason they came back to Earth out after 700 years at the end of the movie was because of the plant. Yeah, I'll check that on Discord later. See, I've watched Wall-E so many times that you could talk about any scene from that movie. In people in the chat who have seen it, you could talk about any scene from that movie, and I will have some type of nostalgia or thing to say about that. Okay, now we've got to put a whole bunch of tire treads on here. How many of them? 28! I'm going to count so I remember this shit. 1, 2. Yes, the Mac sound boot up. Yes. 3. And the way he used the Atari to play Pong. 4. 5. 6, 7. 8. The German number 9. 10. The basis of the metric system, the superior system, imperial system sucks. Legs 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If anyone knows what that's a reference to, then you get a cookie. Baker's dozen. My dad's birthday. 15. Sweet 16. 17. Adulthood. 19. 20. What's 9 plus 10? 21. I don't know about you. I'm feeling 22. Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Kobe Bryant. A quarter century. The end of the alphabet. 27. And my sister's birthday. Okay, let's connect all these together. See if I can get this on. It's sometimes a little bit tricky to do this. So hopefully I can do this with not much fail. Come on. Maybe if I put it down a little bit more and then get it to rest on this beam. There we go. So that's the first of his treads on. Strictly always thought it was funny to see what humans evolved after 700 years. Exactly. The electric company was on Sesame Street and was responsible for that. Oh yeah, exactly. What's funnier than 24? 25. But 24 is the number that Kobe Bryant wore in the second half of his career. Exactly. Yes, the pinball cartoon for the number song by the Electric Company. You all get cookings. You all get cookings. Okay, let's see how this attaches. Okay, on this side. And those axles go in there. And if I rotate this, you can see how well those treads roll backwards and forwards, because you can hear the clicking noise of it. That's a satisfying noise. Now let's build the other side. Is it? I thought. So what joke does Disney have about the number 24? Because that's more of a Paramount to Nickelodeon, Viacom, CBS joke. And it's also more of a reference to the Fox network because of the TV series 24. Which, if some people watched the music video that I made for the sets that I built on my 24-hour live stream with the Gonna Stack Bricks song that my friend MC the Lego Therapy made, and we collaborated on Instagram, and he accepted the collaboration tag on the city update that I uploaded yesterday. I used the 24 intro. And when I was doing stuff, and also the reel that I did after, and also in promotion of my 24-hour live stream a week and a half ago, I used the intro for 24. I'm so glad that that's on Disney Plus. I think I'm halfway through the first season of that. I haven't watched that in a while. I've been going back and watching shows like that and Gilmore Girls when I have nothing else to watch. But right now I have a lot of stuff to watch. Hey, Roaming Bricks. We are building bag 3 of the Wall-E set. The Wall-E and Eve, to be exact. This is what we've done so far. Get that in frame a little bit more. I'm doing good because you are now the 10th person to like this stream. We've got 10 people watching right now, and and the chat is giving me a lot of energy, a lot of stuff to talk about. And we were talking about numbers and scrap and metal and the movie Walling itself, of course. I've seen a bunch of Gilmore Girls mocks because one day I was watching something on Disney Plus, and then I go to the homepage of Disney Plus, and then I see that their Gilmore Girls is on there. So I've watched the first episode, and eventually I want to watch the whole series, like how I've seen the whole series of 2.5 Men, and that 70s show and Friends. I still need to go back and watch the first season of Sex and the City, and I want to go back and watch the first 3 seasons of Seinfeld, so I can officially claim that I've seen every episode from that. Because personally, I think that Seinfeld's the greatest sitcom of all time. But Alexandria, we have talked to people in the Lego community who emphatically disagree with us, and you know what? I see people all the time that say that Friends is the most unfunniest sitcom ever. I've also seen people say that The Big Bang Theory, which is another sitcom that I've seen every episode of ever, is the most unfunniest sitcom ever. So it's all a matter of opinion when it comes to sitcoms. Did you watch the reboot? The reboot of what? Billy watched that 70s show. You own a Vista Cruiser. I used to wake up every morning before high school and watch that 70s show because I would record it when it was airing in the middle of the night. And for a while there, they got back to season 1 of that 70s show, and I knew that Mila Kunis was an actress on that 70s show, and I like Mila Kunis as an actress and a voice actor. So I decided one day in high school to spend a couple months or so watching that every morning before school. And yeah, that's how I watched every episode. And season 8 totally hits different when Randy replaced Eric. Season 8 totally hit different. But season 8 is also when they climb up on the water tower and spray paint Tamara, and they spray paint a weed plant. And it's also the end of season 8 is where Red and Kitty find out that they've been smoking pot in the circle in the basement for all those years. And of course, the 1970s was at the height of the reefer madness propaganda, when they thought that weed was more dangerous than alcohol, because they didn't have the information back then that alcohol kills more people than weed. But we're not going to get into that. Yeah, Red. You know, some of my favorite scenes was when Red and Kitty ran up the stairs to do in the bedroom. And there's a lot of gifs that came out of that 70s show, like the gif of Kitty laughing when drinking. There's also the gif of Michael Kelso saying "burn." Yeah, there's a lot of GIFs that came out of there. And hey, if something has an impact on meme culture, I gotta respect it. Because like, even though I've chosen not to watch Breaking Bad, I gotta respect its impact on Hollywood, and I gotta respect its impact on meme culture, because there are so many many gifs about the Walter White special. Yeah, Red was a good character. Yeah, he always he really liked liked the dumbasses, and kicking and threatening to kick people's asses. And he eventually developed a fascination with the Chevrolet Corvette. And Red Foreman, the character Red Foreman, is one of the reasons why I've grown to like the Corvette. The Corvette is probably by far my favorite Chevrolet car, even more so than the Camaro. And I like the Chevrolet Corvette more than a Ford Mustang, for example. Because there are some people who really like the Corvette, and people who really like the Mustang. So if you're an American out there, do you prefer the Mustang or the Corvette? Because I definitely prefer the Corvette. I think I built this wrong. That's on that side. It's not a good angle. Yeah, the Speed Champions are fun to collect. I got gifted the Fab 5 of Formula One for Christmas last year. There's the McLaren Formula One Speeding, and eventually I'll buy the Oscar Piastri helmet set, and I'll take the minifigure from that, and I'll swap it. I'll swap the face with Oscar Piastri's face to make a purest custom racing version of Oscar, because in that helmet it has him in casual clothing. The same with the Lando Norris helmet. Hey AC, how do you like modern mid-engine Corvettes? I haven't seen a modern Corvette before, but I know people on TV who drive a Corvette, like Rob Beninkovich, who used to play for the New England Patriots. He got a Corvette before he got fired from ESPN. Okay, that goes on there. Now we've got to put in another 28 treads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 goal. 1 touchdown. 8, 9. 1 touchdown, 1 field goal. 11. 2 goals. 13. 2 touchdowns. 15. 16. 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal. 3 goals. 19. 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. 3 touchdowns. 22. 23. 4 goals. 25. 26. 27. 4 touchdowns. Okay, let's get this on. So for those who don't know, in the sports world, if you get the extra point, the point after touchdown, you score 7 points. And in Australian rules football, a goal is worth 6 points. And you get 1 spare tire tread in this set. Okay, now let's get this on. And that doesn't seem quite right. Because those aren't rolling. Doesn't feel quite right. I like the way this rolls a lot better than the way this rolls. I'm gonna. It says to put. I'm just gonna put an extra tire. Well, I'm just gonna put an extra tread on here, so that it rolls a little bit better. I don't know why that's not rolling. There we go. That rolls nicely. Okay. And now we're building some arms. Billy likes the 1962 Corvette the best, also the late 70s Corvette. I remember Micro Machines did a 3-pack of they did a 5-pack of classic cars featuring some different years of Corvettes. Camaro is more like a Mustang because of the 2+2 seating. Yeah, because yeah. So what's the biggest difference between the Camaro and the Corvette? Kind of like a BBI Brixar breaks it. Hey Dragon, you like the 1971 fastback Mustang? Yeah, I know a lot of people who really like Corvettes from the 60s and Mustangs from the 70s. Camaro. Oh, okay, so the Camaro is a muscle car, and the Corvette is a sports car. Then I wonder why when Chevrolet replaced Holden in V8 supercars, they went with the Camaro instead of the Corvette. Maybe they should have gone with the Corvette instead, or maybe they built a Camaro that was better for auto racing. I don't know. That makes me wonder now. We got 6 more minutes. Hopefully we can get this bag done. And I'm pretty sure there are no stickers in this set. Yeah. Zelda, if you're still watching, that's the noise of the cat getting fed. Long time no see, Brick Therapy. We got 5 more minutes to go on this live stream. We're building the Wally and Eve set. I'm in a battle of the bots with my friend, the Brick Babe. I'm building Wally and Eve. She's building Walt. Wally is my favorite movie ever. The viewers voted for me to build this set. And then when we get this set done, we're building the Michael Schumacher Formula 1 Ferrari. Hopefully, I'll get this done building when I'm live again with Brick Babe next Saturday night. That'll be fun. And any of the new subscribers out there, I go live just about every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. Which is 6 p.m. Pacific. Okay, there's his first arm. Now let's build his other arm. And I posted progress updates in people's Discord servers earlier. And so if I have DMs with you on Instagram or Discord, make sure to be active, because you never know when I'm going to DM you something. The best way to communicate with me is via our DMs. Because DMs are on demand. YouTube live streams are not. I've convinced a lot of people to join either Instagram or Discord because of DMs. So where does that go on? Let's push that up and connect his other arm. There we go. And I don't know what these pieces are for. They must be extras. There we go, and I'll angle this up a little bit. And I'll angle his arms in. There we go. If I move this out and then put the brick separator in as the bookmark, I can get you the shot of him with his arms. This wants to drop down. There we go. Now we can pose him with his arms up, although you can't see behind because my shirt is also grey. There, if we get the side angle, you can see his arms. You have the Wally in your city collecting recycling. Nice. That's funny. Yeah. And for those who didn't see, when I started building this with the Brick Babe, this opens up and you can put the trash cube inside. There. Yeah, so I'm satisfied after that, and I don't think there's anyone live right now. Oh, actually, Moments of the Magic is live. We'll put out a redirect to Moments of the Magic. So you guys can go over and watch Moments of the Magic after this live stream. So thank you very much for watching. It is appreciated. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. If you have autoplay enabled, you'll be automatically YouTube redirected to Moments of the Magic. If you don't, then you'll see a message at the top of the chat where you can tap or click on to go and watch Moments of the Magic. So I'll see you on my live stream at the same time tomorrow, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.